Welcome to Community Corner on 94.5 Praise, a program where we discuss the topics affecting the Low Country, but also programs and organizations making positive changes in our community. Today, we are blessed to have three guests, one in the person of Miss Ganelle Dantzler, who is the Executive Director of the Extra Mile Club, and there are two guests that we have, Miss Janie Brown, who is actually employed by the school district. She's a social worker. And then that of Mr. Everett Parker, who is a retired Navy Master Chief. They all are natives of Beaufort. Miss Brown is a St. Helena's born person. Mr. Parker, I believe, was born in Port Royal. And so they are all homies, and we are just glad to have you all on Community Corner. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We're going to start with the executive director. Would you give us an update on the Extra Mile Club? We know, everybody know that you are pretty frequent here at 94.5 because we believe so much in what you all are doing with those young men and women in the Extra Mile Club. And so give us an update, if you will, from the last time that you appeared here.
Sure. A lot has happened since I've been here. Last time, our program is growing rapidly. We have a number of new kids that are in the program. When I came here to do the last interview, we had about 100 kids. But since we have approximately about 20 additional kids that have come on. They're not registered yet, but once we get them, then we'll have a final number as far as, where our numbers are. But as far as our EMC Elite program, of course, we have 25 of those kids that are actually elite, in addition to other kids that come on to participate with the program that are part of the mentoring program. But our elite program is exclusively for young men ages 13 and older who maintain at least a 2.5 GPA. So those guys actually right now are at Clemson University at a camp. And those are the guys that had the highest GPAs that are at the Clemson camp. We've been blessed to receive a couple grants, local grants from funders, so we're excited about that. So the program is growing. We're actually getting the exposure that we need. People are actually committed to our organization, so it's growing. God has just been blessing us, and we are just fortunate to be able to have the opportunity that we do to serve the children in our community and give back to the community so that we can, get these kids on track and keep them focused so that they can be productive citizens in our community.
You mentioned having received a couple of grants. I would like to take this opportunity to say to anyone, individuals as well as corporations, that this is the most effective organization that I have seen since I have been in Beaufort with dealing with our children. Especially those children that are at risk. And so if you have a mind to do anything to promote young people reaching their fullest potential, I would beg you to get involved and make donations to the Extra Mile Club and give grants if you are in businesses to the Extra Mile Club, because the funds are greatly needed. And so we just ask you to do that. I am of the opinion that these children are as intelligent as any children in this county and in this nation. And what they need us to believe in them and to support them. And if we do, I am absolutely convinced that they will reach their fullest potential. Tell us, if you will, about those that are in college, and then we're going to get to our guests later. Sure. But I just love the record that you all have established.
Yes.
You have a number of young people who are full-time students in college who otherwise probably would not have gone to college. So give us a report.
And we are so excited about those guys. And a few of them, about 7 of them, attended our pledge breakfast last month. And they were able to get up and tell their testimony about how this program has impacted them. And when we had the breakfast last year, at that point we had 4 young men to graduated from college. This year we had 14. So we are so excited about that because these kids are really making a difference, and to hear their testimonies about how this program has impacted them, it's just, it brings you to tears, because when they tell this story about, their upbringing and their humble beginnings, and how, being a part of this program and being a part of something positive where it opens them up and helps them to reach their full potential, it makes you want to work harder, to do the same thing for the kids that are in the program. So we have 14 that have graduated from college, 22 that are in college, 14 that are in the military, and 21 have joined the workforce, but 0 incarceration. So we are happy about that, and we're excited about that because it lets us see the fruits of our labor. And it lets the community see that we're not a fly-by-night program, that we've been here in existence. My husband, Chris, founded this program in 2008. So since 2008, we've been focusing our attention on how we can impact the children in the community so that we can empower them so that they can be productive citizens in our community.
You mentioned about it brings tears to your eyes. I've never sat through one of those and did not cry. I think I'm a pretty tough Marine, but when you see and you hear their testimonies of where they were and what they have overcome, I think if there is any good in your heart, you have to be moved at the fact that these young men could have been a statistic.
Yes.
They could have been on the street. Now, those numbers that she gave you, the 14 who have graduated from college and the numbers that are in the military, these are young black men. They are young black men that someone showed an interest in and simply helped to guide them along the way in life. And they have now, one's an engineer, we've got some in education and other aspects of life, but I just think that is what Jesus meant when he actually said that we are the light of the world, that we ought to be enlightening other people. And so again, I can't do one of these without thanking you all from the bottom of my heart for what you are doing for those young people. And as I've told you before, we will do absolutely anything that we can possibly do to further your mission and your goals, because they are worthy. I liken what you do to is a ministry. It really is a ministry from God, and our job is to encourage you and support you in ministry, if you will.
Yes.
And so we thank you. You mentioned that there are none of them who have been incarcerated. I just jump for joy when I hear that, because if you listen to the narrative and watch television, it is almost as if, young black men especially can't do anything but hang out in the hood and get incarcerated and wear their pants down and all of those things. So how have you all been so successful in getting them to focus and being productive members of society?
Sure. What we try to do with the Extra Mile Club is to take a holistic approach to mentoring. They come into the program because all of them have a love for sports and they want to play football, but that's just what we use to get them into this program. We provide mentoring, Bible study, tutoring, community service projects, camps and combines. So we try to keep the kids engaged and keep them involved, so they wouldn't have an opportunity to go in the other direction because they're so involved in what we're doing with the Extra Mile Club. So we pride ourselves in keeping these kids busy. We keep an open line of communication with them, with their parents. If there are issues at home, at school, the parents will call. They'll call Chris and say, I'm having an issue. I mean, issues as much as putting the bowls under the bed, in the bedroom. They call him for whatever, but they know that he's going to be there and that the mentors are going to be there so that we can keep the kids on track. As long as we can get collaborative support from the educators, from the parents, the people in the community, we can keep these kids on track because it actually takes a village to raise a child, and that's what we're doing. We have the EMC village. We have extensions of that village where people are coming in to assist us in what we're doing because they see the vision. Once they see the vision and once they get it, then you can't help but to be involved and get engaged and help these kids to be successful.
I want to say, and I think I'm correct in saying this, that the majority of the children that are in that program are children from single-parent households.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, about 85%.
About 85%.
Yes, sir.
In churches, we spend a lot of time talking about the woes of, of having children out of wedlock and all of those things. And I do believe we ought not be encouraging that. But the question is what will we do after the fact? After the child is born, then what will we do? Will we love as Christ has called us to love and value that child as much as any other child on the face of this earth? I believe that's what we are called to in Christianity.
Yes.
We are called to love that child equally and to give that child whatever that child needs. That's what you all have done.
Yes, sir.
You all have taken, and your mentors have become fathers to those children without a father. Mm-hmm. And we can talk about the woes of fathers not being involved. But if we simply look and find the need and address the need, I believe that's love. Yes. I believe that's true love, yes. And that's what you all have done.
Yes.
And I won't stop singing your praise. I know there's a lot of other people who are doing it, but I think people who do good ought to be lifted up because so often we spend so much time on the negative stuff. I contend that the negative stuff is going to spread, but we need to spread the good news.
Yes.
The good news is about God and light and power.
Right.
Which brings me to the next thing I think we want to move into. You have scheduled a youth conference that is annually, and I am so sorry I'm not going to be there. I am going up to Washington, D.C. for a Navy Master Chief's retirement, if you will. Just a great guy who used to be a deacon in our church, and he's retiring. And I think I owe it to him to go up and attend his retirement. And so that's where we are going to leave tomorrow morning. But you've got a conference that is scheduled, and you brought two of the speakers that is there, born for greatness. You all have done great things in your lives, if you will, and so we are going to ask you, if you will, you're just going to talk. Number one, you're going to tell us who you are, and we've already talked about you being born here, but we just want to hear you and your story. And in part, what are you going to tell these young people about being born for greatness? I'm going to start with Master Chief Parker, retired. The first thing I want to tell you is we are greatly indebted to you for your service, your patriotism, and you being the man that you are who served in the Navy and reached the highest levels of the enlisted ranks, obtaining the rank of Master Chief Petty Officer in the Navy. That's a grand thing. And so I want you to know that I have great respect, and this nation owe you a great deal of gratitude for your service and all the things that you sacrificed in serving this nation. I think if more people looked at the military and politics as us being servants, we won't have the mess that we've got today in our nation. And so, and I'm not ashamed. I'm one who just speak truth to power. So, welcome back, if you will, and tell us, if you will, just talk to us.
Will do. Good morning, and Pastor, thanks for having me. Gaynell and Extra Mile Club, thank you for having me. This is my, I think, third consecutive year working with the Extra Mile Club in the group, and just doing phenomenal things out there in the community. So a little bit about my story is, before there was an Extra Mile Club, if you will, the Extra Mile Club absolutely defines who I am, how I was born, how I was raised. Single parent, product of a single parent household. Just that kid looking to be involved or looking for somebody to believe in me. And in various venues, I was able to find that through sports, through music, through education in some instances with various mentors that got me out of Beaufort. And I was able to go on and have a successful military career, as Pastor said. But through that time, when my life changed, when I recognized I was a far better potential leader and I had a responsibility to give back. I've been giving back to Beaufort for a length of time, but it moves my heart to see what the Extra Mile Club is doing out here. And Pastor, I don't know if you might remember this, but I had surgery back in December, and post surgery I woke up 2 or 3 in the morning, and I got on the phone and I called you up because of a vision that I had, that I believed in. God is awesome. And yesterday I'm on the phone with the IRS, and that vision that I had spoke to Pastor about was starting a nonprofit, not a competitive nonprofit, but a team-oriented nonprofit. You see, I feel like as long as we continue to have issues with our young people, problems with our young people, then there's work for us to get involved, for us to be able to do something. And so I started, based on that vision, my nonprofit, which is Surviving Chance Encounters, because I survived chance encounters. The Extra Mile Club is providing a vehicle, a tool for young people to survive chance encounters. And what I learned on yesterday was that the IRS had approved me as well to be recognized as a tax-exempt nonprofit organization. And every year I look to work with the Extra Mile Club to support this conference. But more specifically on the back channels, I am on the phone with Chris Dantzler many hours discussing ways that we can better affect the community, ways that we can better reach our young parents out here who, to be frank, resemble those environments that we came out of. And so I'm here, Pastor, to speak to our young people about how are you going to arrive at your destination based on our title, based on the theme of this year's event. What is your plan for getting there? I think every child out here knows how to operate a cellular phone. Every child out here knows how to input a GPS coordinate. I think it's our duty to explain to them your life, like your path to success is no different. We have to set goals for our end destination. And that GPS, the creator, the God we serve, will constantly navigate you to tell you when you missed your turn, to tell you when to take an immediate left or when you need to take a U-turn. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be with this panel of mentors in order to be able to provide some positive insight and influence to our young people.
We greatly appreciate that. Your statement of the GPS and coordinates and turns, I think it is so important, and what the Extra Mile Club does is it lets them know that you can make a wrong turn, and we ought to be helping to redirect them as they make mistakes on their path, because someone did it for us. One of the problems I think that we have sometimes is those of us who have accepted Jesus Christ and we've been blessed and given the grace of God. I am only who I am by the grace of God.
Go ahead.
And had it not been for the grace of God, I don't know where I'd be. And I think that is what we must get across to young people is that we've not always been perfect, and we still are not perfect, but we got a perfect God who can get us back on the right track and on the right road. And so I thank you again for your service and just being the humble soul that you are. Miss Brown, you're here. I have so much respect for people in education, because I firmly believe that educators are some of the most important people in our society. You know, it's my teachers. I'm going on the 12th of August. I'm going back over to Georgia, where I was born and raised, because one of my mentors, one of my teachers, who was so patient with me, I don't think I wouldn't have made it in the school system today, because I don't think the teachers would have tolerated me the way this guy, Alfred C. Carson, is going to turn 90 years old on the 12th of August, and I'm going back for his birthday party because he made a huge impact in my life. He tolerated me when no one else would. He was there for me and has followed me for these now 50 years. He has followed me, and he said to his wife, and they asking him, what do you want for your birthday? Says, call more and tell him I would love for him to be at my birthday party. I've got to go. I must go because he made such an impact in my life. That's what you all are doing for these children. And I truly believe that 50 years from now, that they will be saying, Miss Brown talked to me one day, and Miss Brown did this with me one day. I just believe that. So tell us your story, if you will, ma'am. And we welcome you. We welcome you and everything that you are doing. We just thank God for you all.
Awesome. Well, just like everyone else here today, I'm grateful to actually be here and to be a part of the EMC conference and all that's being done in the community. I'm definitely grateful because, as you said, Pastor, the grace of God has definitely brought me this far. And had it not been for His grace and for those who He had placed on my path to encourage me, and to pick me up along the way and kind of, just kind of nurture me to continue to go on, I don't know where I would be. And in that, I know that my purpose is definitely to be there for young people and doing that for them. Many times they feel as if they have made mistakes and they cannot be redeemed. But we know that they are already redeemed. They just need to hear it. They need that encouragement. So I give God all the praise and all the glory for all that He's done for me, and in ordering my path and allowing me the opportunity to be able to do what I do. I say on a daily basis, and even when I'm away from my full-time job, like during the summer and after hours as a school district social worker, I still have the opportunity to work with young people. I also have 4 daughters of my own, so within my home, we always have the personalities and the emotions and all of the daily things that go on with young people, with young girls. So I get the opportunity not just to talk about it, but to live and to walk it, first in my home with my young ladies, and then with my young ladies in the community and young men that I get a chance to do groups with and facilitate with. I really enjoy that. So I am looking forward to being there to encourage the young people on Saturday that yes, they are born into greatness. And even though they may fall to the wayside, that does not take away their purpose and what it is that God has given and have already put in plan for their lives. So that'll be my message to them. My motto is transforming minds through written and spoken word. So I do a lot of that on my daily, written and spoken word, whether I'm writing, whether I'm speaking. I believe in transforming minds first. And I believe that the mind of a person, whether it's an adult or a child, if you can transform their minds, their hearts, their walk, their talk will definitely begin to all model in that way. So I'm there to do that for them and for EMC, and I'm just elated to come along and to work with Gail and Chris, because they're both actually my classmates. So we go back to St. Helena Elementary. Yes. You and I do. I think yes. Chris came along when we were in middle school or whatnot. So to see what they're doing, I mean, it's always, I mean, it is definitely encouraging. I'm looking forward to being there for them and for the young people as well. So I'm blessed to be here today as well.
We are looking forward to what you all are going to do. I listen to people, and in listening to you, you talk about the written and the spoken word. Yes, sir. Your statement is reflective of the Word of God, the written word. I agree with you wholeheartedly that if we can deal with the mind, if we can change attitudes, and that is changing the mind, it is in accordance with Romans 12:1.
Yes, sir.
It says, be you transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
That which is the good and the perfect, acceptable will of God.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're doing. That's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to help young people renew their mind by the power and the grace of God. And that's what we are all called to do, is to help people in their journey. We can't make anyone do it, but we can surely affect those, in helping to chart and find their way. And I just thank God for you all having the love of God. And that's what it requires. It is. We can't do it ourselves, but we got to have enough love for God that we will love these who are the least of because the least really can be the greatest. If you don't believe that, ask Barack Obama, if you will. And so the least, we look at people, and we tend to categorize people by who their father is and their mother was and what status they had in life. But I thank God that God is not like that. God put us all on the same level. And so once we come to him under the circumstances that he has declared, you're right, then greatness can start in anybody's life. And that's what you all have recognized. And I am absolutely convinced that that is what you are going to convey to the young people on Saturday. And I am equally convinced that they will be much better as a result of it. And so it is just our great pleasure to have you on Community Corner. And we are going to let you all give us your sounding statements, if you will. Either one of you can go. You give us your sounding statement, and then Mr. Dantzler is going to then sound off, if you will.
Thank you again, Pastor. So if I had to give a sounding statement, and I gave one for a friend some nights ago who recently signed a record deal, and I closed out my retirement with this. There's a poem by Marion Williamson that really summarizes the quality of life, if you will, and the effort that we're trying to put forward. And what she wrote was, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness which frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, handsome, talented, and fabulous? Well, actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not change the world. There is nothing, absolutely nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we consciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence, it automatically liberates others. Look forward to the Extra Mile Club and what they're doing out here in the community. Look forward to Surviving Chance Encounters and what we're trying to do to influence the lives of our young people. Thank you for having me, Pastor.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Miss Brown.
And that poem, right on. I love that poem by Marion Williamson as well. If there was something, I think that my thing is, and especially with the young people, is always seek who you are authentically. Seek to know who you are and who God has called you to be. And in that place of being is where you find yourself. So that's my heart for young ladies and young men, just for them to know who they are and to find that place of stability and happiness and that I say joy. So that's my sounding board and where I would jump off.
Which is a wonderful one, because I think we have in the past, we've tried to direct young people the way we think they ought to go. And I think that is a mistake. I think what we ought to be doing is exactly what you said, is helping young people to find what is God's created will in your life. And I am going to assist you in getting there. And you will know what it is because you will have joy. You will have that peace. You will have that joy. And I don't care if it's digging ditches.
Yes.
You'll just have a great joy digging those ditches. And so the person who has joy in digging ditches will be the best ditch digger you've ever seen in your life. And so there's nothing wrong with digging ditches, but you got to be a purposeful ditch digger, if you will. You got to have joy, and if you have joy, you'll do it well. And so you all just, you push my preaching button. You really, it is just awesome. It is absolutely awesome. And again, we thank God for you all because you're doing great things. And I am convinced we are on to something. And it is big. It is big. You say, well, we don't have but 120 students, 120 children. But I tell you this, if we made a difference in 50% of their lives, then we have changed our world.
Yes.
I never worry about changing the whole world, but that little part that God has blessed me to be a part of, yes. I want to be some light that shine in there. Miss Dantzler.
Mm-hmm. I'm just so excited and really overwhelmed, and I am excited about Saturday. And, this is just a taste of what the kids will get on Saturday. And I'm just so excited, that we have Jane and Everett to come and impart the wisdom, to our children. This is really, really exciting. And you can tell when people are doing what God has called them to do. Just by listening to Everett and listening to Jane, everything they've said, it came naturally. So that's when that you're where God wants you to be. There's so much peace and purpose. And I wrestled with that for years, and when I finally found my purpose is when God gave me the peace, and in finding your purpose, there are tribulations along the way, but it all feels so right, So what I do with the Extra Mile Club and what we do as an organization, we can't do anything else. If we were to do something else, it would be outside of what God is telling us to do. So I'm excited about what we're doing. I'm excited about the partnerships. I'm excited about, where God is taking this organization. So I am looking forward to Saturday, and I encourage parents to allow their children to come out and be a part of this youth conference. I promise they will not be disappointed. This is just a taste of what they will have, or what they will hear on Saturday. Some of our other speakers, Officer Danny Allen from Beaufort County Sheriff Department will be a speaker. Stephen Brown, who was the first black firefighter in Beaufort County in 1970. Of course, retired Command Master Chief Parker. Augustine Martinez, he's a motivational speaker and writer. Melissa Major, she's a youth leader at Kingdom Kids Youth Ministry in St. George, South Carolina. Jane Brown, of course, and Stephanie Finn, who's Miss Beaufort Plus America. And Katia Gilbert, she's also an educator at Well Branch Middle School. So we have some exciting speakers and people that I know will motivate and encourage our children on Saturday.
Tell us when, the time, and where it's going to be one more time.
Sure. The conference will be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church in Dale, 367 Keens Neck Road. And the conference is from 10 to 12, but the registration starts at 9. So if you can get the kids there at 9 so we can get their information and they can be prepared and ready at 10 o'clock for the conference.
Whether your child is a part of the Extra Mile Club or not, you are absolutely cordially invited. And there is space and food and everything for everyone. So we thank you, if
and
you
no
will,
charge.
and
no
we
charge.
pray that you will participate in this process. There is absolutely no cost whatsoever associated with it. It is just out of the goodness of the Extra Mile Club and Mount Carmel. We just invite you because we love you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us for Community Corner on 94.5 Praise. And don't forget to join us every Thursday at 7 o'clock for the latest in community programs and highlights. If you want more information on today's topics or guests, you can find it on our website at praise945.com. May the peace and blessings of the Lord be yours.